Thank you, everyone. Entering into the McQuaid Hall of Fame is a wonderful cap on 30 years of total enjoyment. About 5 years ago, I remember being asked if maybe I would be voted into the McQuaid Hall of Fame. My answer was, well, I think someday, but I either have to retire or I have to die. Well, I'm glad I'm up here talking to you people, so we'll go with that one. I'll try to keep it short, but after 30 years, I probably could be up here a long time, so I really will try to keep it short. I have to start off, hard part, talking about Bob Schwartz. Bob Schwartz was an assistant coach, middle school teacher, actually the high school teacher before the middle school, for the McQuaid hockey program before I was hired as head coach. When I was asked during the interview if I would retain Bob Schwartz, I said, of course. I need someone to help me with the kids and to learn about the school in McQuaid. And Bob was, again, one of the greatest guys. He was Bob Peterson's assistant coach. The kids loved him. I already knew him, but I learned to really, really love him. And actually, he was a mentor of mine, an advisor of mine, a good friend, and an assistant as well. He was instrumental in my development as a coach. He wasn't really an X and O's guy, hockey guy, but what he excelled in was kids. He always had excellent advice when I was dealing with an issue. Let me put this down a little bit. And somehow was able to put a positive spin on any situation. The players and I loved him as the man, and I miss him to this day. Over the 30 years that I was a coach, I had the opportunity to coach many fantastic hockey players as well as quality young men. Early on during my first stint, and I don't know if you people know, I went 14 years and then 3 years of nothing, and then they hired me again, which I was very, very fortunate. But I got to coach guys like Mark Doyle and Dan Mason and Chip White and Frank Monfalcone and Chip Golembeski, Paul Mertz, Dave Simpson, Marty Reisner, who had a 13-year NHL career, Sean Richmond, Larry Pierce, Sam Kaiser, Kyle Hanford, one of my favorites of all time, Evan Carroll, Greg Mulberry, who was here tonight with a few others, Nick Burno, Tim Dever, Steve Mattoni, and a boatload of others. In my second go-around, 2001 to 2017, I had the wonderful experience to coach Brian Kane, Brandon Nunn, Ryan Flanagan, Danny Reed, Billy Sauer, Chris and Mike Cieslak, Nick Bondurant, Joey Dugan, Ryan Sheridan, Mike Campbell, Mike Capicato, Christian Leonardi, Jared Tallow, Connor Raymond, Joe Pasco, and Jack Dugan, who got drafted in the NHL this spring. I could go on and on about the players because I got to coach many very, very fine individuals. 5 players that played for me eventually were drafted by NHL clubs. Marty Reisner, Rory Fitzpatrick, Derek Sylvester, Billy Sauer, and most recently Jack Dugan. I've had great assistant coaches. I have a number of here this evening. I counted, I had 17 during 30 years. 2, 3. Tonight we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 of them here. Scott Stifler, Ed McDonald, Mike Horst, Dave Simpson, Garv Weil, Joe Dugan, and Steve Mattoni are here. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Warm up here. Over the 30 years, we were very fortunate to be the coach of a number of championship teams. We were sectional champs in 97, 2004, 2005, 2008, 2013, and 2015. Regional champs in 05, 13, and 15, and state champs in 05 and 15. I also have to add that we lost in sectional finals 4 times, between 1985 and 1987, and my friends and I referred to myself as the Marv Levy of high school hockey. But then, to be honest with you, we won the next 6 we went to, so we made up for all those 4 that we missed. I have some favorite teams, I must admit, and some best teams. The very good teams, I coached some very good teams over the years, and also had my favorites. My two state champions, 2005 and 2015, stand out obviously. Both teams had talent and were very driven. To win the states not only once, but twice was a dream come true. They were also two of my most favorite teams. I had other teams that were very good also. Maybe as good as the state champs, but for some reason couldn't get it done. Those teams were 84-85, that was my first team. 91-92, and 92-93 with Marty Reesner on it. 96-97, Steve Batoni's here, he was on that team. 2003-2004 was a fantastic team, but unfortunately we lost in the regionals. 2012-13, we went to the finals and lost in the finals of the states. And then 2013-14 was very talented, but we kind of were self-imploded, but the next year we won the states. Parents get a bad rap, usually because of a select few that give all the parents a bad name. Through the years, I have mostly had fantastic parents at McQuaid. They are very supportive of the coach and players, and most of all, very grounded. They sent their sons to McQuaid for an education, and oh, by the way, they have sports there too. I have had, though, a few doozies, which I won't name, but my experience with parents has been exceptional over the years. Players and why I coached. One of the things I found out early in my McQuaid coaching career were the players/students were quality young men. They had manners, class, they were happy, hard workers, and everywhere we went as a team, we were liked, which is surprising. During a win or a loss, our kids were very classy, and we'd leave the building with no problems. We didn't always have championship teams, but we were always there to compete with class. The reason I would always want to coach the next season is because of the players. I knew no matter what, I would have fun, and I got to coach really good kids. There have been many people who have helped me over the years and have had a lot to do with my success. First, I'm going to tell you my parents. They put up with me and eventually were extremely supportive of my hockey addiction and my choice to coach. Don Cherry was my high school hockey coach. He was very instrumental in helping with my love of the game. He was the world's greatest hockey storyteller, and he still is. Darryl Sullivan, my college coach, although he couldn't skate a lick, not very well at all, he taught me a lot about coaching. Bob Schwartz, as I told you before, taught me a lot about working with young men. Dan Mason, who's present, Dan played for me his senior year at McQuaid, and he's been one of my biggest supporters and a great friend for years. The three athletic directors I worked for while I was at McQuaid, I want to thank them also. Tim Jordan, Dave Spieler, and Matt Thomas, right over here. They all allowed me to run the program, but as long as I ran it the way McQuaid wanted it run, and I think we did pretty good together. I had their full support at all times. All the McQuaid administrators, teachers, and staff I have known have been very, very supportive over the years, and I've made many friends. All my assistant coaches over the years, they put up with me. They were great guys, and I really loved them. And then my wonderful daughter. Sorry. The greatest McQuaid hockey parents. And thank you very much for this honor, you guys.